Hey guys, welcome to another week of the Monday Huddle. I have a much better looking guest with me on today. Derek Side could not be in town, and so I have the lovely
Jeanette, but you could call me Jay.
I'm G, and we are bringing you tools, resources, quotes, all kind of stuff for you to beat your Mondays. And so here we go with another quote. Go for it.
I get to start off with a quote. I'm super pumped, so here it is. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. The author is unknown. What are your thoughts about that?
So when I think of this quote, to me, first off, I want to immediately define what success is. Because not everybody defines success in the same way.
That's really good.
But I realize that the devil is in the details.
I think success can be in anything. And I love the fact that you said the devil's in the details. We need to dig it out. What is success to me? It may be different from you. For me, success is actually my health. That's a success. If I have nothing wrong with me, I'm like, okay, you know what? That's a success. That's a win for me. For some, it's financial. I don't know. What's your
It's all kind of, we're talking about beating Monday, right? So what's going to make you successful on Monday or every day of the week, right? And Monday is not the exception. So let me ask you some things that you may consider doing on a day-to-day basis, day in, day out, that you're like, man, this is what brings me my success. These are the things that I do all the time, and the pattern allows me to be productive and be successful. You tell me.
Let me tell you, my health is a big deal. So probably waking up early on a Monday morning, you know what, that's a positive thing for me. And so I'll wake up early, I'll sit outside my patio, I'll have my tea, and then I go for a walk. And that actually I go for a walk with you. And so for me, that's like, okay, that's my Monday win. That's my pattern, like behavior. Like this is something that's good for me, not I'm just going to lay in bed and just cuddle in some more.
Yeah. Well, there's some people that oftentimes they're looking and considering our lives, right? And they just kind of like, well, how is it that you guys are so busy and still do this, and you have your children and you go to school and you have businesses and you're entrepreneurs? How is it that we're able to accomplish all of those things and still look somewhat sane? Are you sane?
I am, thank God. But you know what? I love, I can't remember who said it, Nelson Pearson maybe. I forgot the name of the book, but there's always enough time in a day. And I think I feel like people who are goal driven like us, it's like rush. We got to get this done. We have to get that. You know, we're so goal oriented that it's like, wait a minute. Let me just take a deep breath. There's always enough time in a day. And that's just, I live my life that way. There's always enough time on that Monday.
That's right. Well, you know, when I was looking or thinking of success, right, I think that it's important for us as individuals, for you, the listener, to evaluate and define what success is. Oftentimes we could be busy and not productive. I realize as I just turned 46 years old,
Still
come on,
young,
somebody.
46 years young.
And so I realized that that sometimes we can be go, and only realize that it looks like we're successful, but we're being successful at the things that we're not even aiming at.
Absolutely.
I read a book that said, whose wall is your ladder up against? You can climb the ladder and get to the top and realize you've climbed the wrong ladder on the wrong wall.
My goodness, that's so good. You could be moving. Like I think about this mountain that's right there. And I think for a lot of us, we feel like Monday is that mountain. You know, Friday is like, thank God it's Friday. Saturday, turn up, right? Sunday, you got maybe church, you got whatever going on with your family, who knows? And then Monday rolls around, it's like, that's that Monday mountain. And so you could be moving, but not making any movement, if that makes sense. And so you could be busy, but are you productive? And so I think thinking about Mondays as like, you know what, this is going to be productive. Honestly, G, it's all in the mindset.
That's right.
It's all in how you think about things. And if you can rewire from Mondays being a negative thing to Mondays being a positive thing, that could actually be the start of your goal setting. I think everybody should set goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we had to take a moment and just recap what we've spoken about up to this point, number one is defining what success looks like for you. What does being successful on a Monday look like for you? Secondly, whose wall is your ladder on? And third, as Jay just mentioned, what goals are you setting, right? And how is your mindset going into these Mondays?
Yeah, definitely rewire that. It's so important to remember those three things because the more that you repeat that, listen, it takes, scientists say, it takes about 3 times before a word penetrates into your mind. So just say those things 3 times to yourself. And it's like, you know what? I'm going to have a great Monday. And from
that's so
here
good.
on, every Monday that comes
Yeah.
that comes up, it's going to be a good Monday for you. There's no such thing as a bad day. I think that we create our bad days.
Yeah.
So stay encouraged.
That's good. I was going to ask you just now. So when you're looking in the mirror and you are encouraging yourself, what are some words? What are some encourages that you speak over yourself?
Today is going to be a good day. I love to self-affirm. Today is going to be a positive day. Even for myself, you're going to create new goals. I love to say, you are beautiful. The more you say it to yourself, you don't need anybody else to tell you. Let's see. I'm going to be successful. This is going to be a successful day. I'm going to be productive. And just things like that. Those are things that I tell myself. What about you? You tell
Well,
yourself some
as
stuff?
a man, I'll give you from the male perspective things that you are good enough. You can accomplish the day. You are who God says that you are.
That's really good.
That you don't have to try to impress anybody. Just do your best.
Yeah.
And let God take care of the rest. And
I
so
love that. I was going to say, never feel guilty also. You start off your Mondays, and maybe it's a restful Monday. Maybe it's a goal-driven Monday. But even if you take a moment to rest, make sure that you're just not resting the entire day. You know, make sure that you do things to kind of get your blood circulation going, your mind going. Do some little challenges, things like that that are going to, going to get you going and your mind stimulated enough. Get that blood flowing up in here, because the moment you get it flowing up in here, it's going to flow through your body. Remember the dopamine, the serotonin. That's what you need to just get going and be happy and joyful and things like that. So I think that that's a major deal. Don't feel guilty, even if you rest for some time. It's okay.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. On a Monday, you get up, you prepare your tea, you sit outside, you watch the sunrise, you go on your walk. Then what does your day look like after that? Like somebody who works a 9 to 5, maybe not an entrepreneur that can have that type of schedule. What would you do after all of that morning
I think
walk?
depending on if I have a day filled with clients, I do counseling services. And so if my day is stacked, then I just pace myself. Okay, this is what I know I have to do. So I have my morning fruits or a little breakfast, and then I start, on my computer, I set it up. One thing with not having a 9 to 5 and having my own schedule, definitely taking, and I'm learning that more and more. I would be so comfortable in my bed and working on my laptop there. But I've had to section my bedroom away from office space.
That's
and
right.
so once again, everything starts here. And so if I associate my bedroom with the office, I'm on work mode when I go into the bedroom. And so it's like, okay, you know what? I got that from G. He goes downstairs, he'll work, he'll come up to his office space. And I'm like, I think I need to do the same. And that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
And see my clients, cook dinner. I have children, and so got to feed them.
They're
I
grown
stay busy.
too. They're grown. They're
They
grown.
sure are.
So when I think of another area of success that sometimes we brush up against that can serve as a negative is comparison. Just because someone else, it looks cool,
Yeah.
it's great, it worked for someone else, we cannot try to copy and paste that to our own life and say, well, I want that. I really try never to compare my lifestyle with others, because maybe what's set out in my path is greater than what I see in their own life. And so success
Yeah,
has
so
to be
good.
without limitation, and consistency is the key to be able to push forward
really
and say,
good.
you know what, if it's a bad day, I'm still going to be
Got
consistent.
to be consistent.
In,
Yeah.
in a good day, I'm going to be consistent. In the highs, I'm going to
Yeah.
be consistent. In the lows, I'm going to be consistent.
So
Why?
good.
Because it's who you are.
Don't let your emotions take over.
Yeah.
Consistency is key. When you're in the lows, are your emotions going to take over in that moment? when you're in the super high moments? Are your emotions going to take over? Be consistent. So important. There are people around you that rely on you, that need from you, that learn from you. And so what are you going to show them? You know, that's the leadership in, I think, many of our viewers also. Be consistent.
Yeah. And, you know, I saw a post recently that said palm trees don't grow in Ohio.
Yes.
Right? And so what do I grab from that? That sometimes where we are, we may not be thriving, but we stay so loyal. We are loyal to dysfunction. And so, you know, if we're in an area, don't punish yourself and say, well, I'm going to stay here because I got to be loyal. And listen, palm trees don't grow in Ohio. I grabbed so much meat from that. And I realized that sometimes I have to evaluate and see who am I around, what am I doing, what am I putting my hands to, right? And if it's not flourishing the way that that I desire for it, then I can't just look at the walls around me. If they're not moving, then I have to move. And so how do you navigate through times where you feel like, you know what, the pattern and the things that I'm doing are not functioning for me and I don't feel like I'm being successful? How do you break free from that?
I feel like you create your own environment. And so you can choose to create a negative environment, which is a pessimist environment, or an optimist environment, positive. And so naturally, oh goodness, I am a pessimist. And so I've been working towards, no, wait a minute, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to claim that I'm an optimist. And so my Mondays, literally, that's the start of the week for me. I am an optimist this week. And so I create the environment, and everything that I lay my eyes on, I try my best, my hardest to just rewire my thoughts and take it from a negative point of view to a positive. And I think that
That's good.
you can really shift your environment that way. A lot of times we blame spirituality or we blame other people, but reality is what's in here. What's in here. And if you can align that, then you can have a really good, optimistic Monday.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've gotten to a place in my life just celebrating a birthday. So excited to have spent it in New York City, where I grew up and
Alone.
lived. Yeah, it was awesome. It was not that I was not the alone part was not awesome, but being there was awesome. And I realized that there were just some things that I just don't know. I didn't know what I didn't know. And sometimes I felt almost like guilt and shame for trying to achieve certain things in my life, right? And so I've gotten to a place where I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to operate from a place of guilt. I'm not going to operate from a place of shame. I'm going to see the worth and the value in myself, and I'm going to push in the direction to ensure that I pour myself out completely in this life. And when that day comes that the good Lord takes me home, I want to say, you know what? I'm leaving empty because I poured myself out completely.
That's really good.
And breaking from the patterns that actually serve as a distraction. What are some distractions? What are some things that people do day in and day out that distract?
You can have anything as a distraction. You know, I love them. I do. I love my children. But even that could be a distraction with the things that happen or the things that are going on. Oh my gosh, there was a spill in the kitchen, or, you know, dinner's not done. Like, there's always enough time in a day to deal with anything and everything. I feel like work could be a distraction. You know, you put forth so much in one area that you neglect another area. What else? Maybe finances. Maybe you're seeing, oh God, there's not enough in the account. What am I going to do? You start worrying. You don't want that. You want to have that optimistic just viewpoint and say, you know what? Everything is going to be okay. And so what are some things that you can do? And these are things that you can ask yourself. What are some things that I can do to have a good day and not worry and not have that as a distraction? Friendships, relationships. You want to be careful who's around you also.
That's right.
Because if you're always around a pessimistic person, what's going to happen? It's just going to be all negative all the time. That's not what you want. Be the light.
That's right. So this is what I've learned, right? That whenever you're around individuals that are like, go, 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 and they're just kind of, if you slow down the way that you speak and when you're around them, they begin to now cling off of you and they slow down because they begin to match you.
Yeah.
Or when you're upset, if you smile while you're talking, I think it's almost impossible to talk mad while you're smiling, right?
It's like crying while you're
Yeah,
smiling.
it's like imagine like this. You're like, hey, you cut me off. That feels uncomfortable. I want to lower my eyebrows and be mad whenever I'm talking about somebody cutting me off. But success is an attitude thing.
It really is.
Success is a mindset thing.
It is a mindset.
Right? Success are goals. And so get into a place where you define success, what is success to you, that you see what wall your ladder is on, the goals that you're setting, the mindsets that you're putting in place, and allowing yourself to see that you can do anything that you set your mind to.
Really, you really, really can, as long as you create your environment. And everything is slow paced, perhaps. And then there's some, like, I think you operate pretty quickly. And so, and I was that way, but I've learned, let me pace myself. And there's no wrong or right. It's if you operate that way and you're successful, then so be it. As long as you take the time for you.
That's right.
As long as in here is okay and here's okay, you'll be okay. And you'll be successful in everything that you do. I have a calendar method. I write everything on a calendar. I have a sheet filled with goals and I create my little boxes and I go about what do I need to do for this week. And sometimes I just go day by day and I just check mark. And the things that I don't check mark, I'm okay with.
Yeah, I think administration or how you administrate and steward your life matters. It's not that I'm fast, it's that I just have a lot, right? But if you're able to say, you know what, I have a lot going on, but if you're able to block your calendar, and we've talked about this in the past, this is something that we've brought up in Monday Huddles before, or previous Monday Huddles, is block your calendar. You can have a lot of stuff going on, but you could spread it like a nice peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you can accomplish a lot of things at a good pace. Right?
I agree. I agree.
And that's important. And so when I first, I was 19 years old, and I was getting ready to enter into the Marine Corps. And I was getting ready to take the physical fitness exam. And I was running. I mean, I ran as soon as they said on your mark and said go. I ran. I ran so fast. I looked back and there was no one behind me. And then as I was looking back, because there was no one in front of me, I just slowed down and took my time. And I realized that I could not maintain that pace.
Yeah, because you were gassed out probably because you started so fast. I think there's a story like that. The what is it? The toad and the turtle, the rabbit and I don't know. It's a kid's story, but it operates just like that. You go, and then you slow down.
That's right. So what Jay is saying is that if you are operating super fast, how long can you maintain that pace if you're not stewarding it well?
Absolutely. For me, we all have different personality types. If you don't know your type, go take the Enneagram test. I'm telling you, it's free. You find it on Google, take it, see who you are. I think it's so important to learn about who am I? Am I this type of individual? You don't even have to guess anymore. And so for me, I know that I'm just different. He's different. Derek is different. You're different. You're watching us and it's probably like, well, I agree with her. No, I agree with him. And so the reality is there's no right or wrong way as long as you're being successful.
That's right.
This life, you have a purpose. What is your purpose? And are you going towards that purpose? Let Monday drive you to the point of you finding out, what is my purpose this week? Perhaps it's a daily purpose, a weekly purpose. Who are you going to help out on Monday? What message are you going to spread on Monday? You know what I mean? Like, you just have to be uniquely you.
That's right. That's right. So tell everybody, what does a Sunday night look like for you?
Sundays are long days for me. And so once I get home that afternoon, I love to eat out maybe on a Sunday and then come home and rest. Honestly, I like to rest on Sunday evenings. I love my bed, the comfy quilts. Maybe just de-plug. It's okay to de-plug for a moment. There's some gamers out there. There's some people that'll binge Netflix. Don't feel guilty for just taking a moment away for yourself. and just saying, you have to have a rest day. You got to have a sabbatical, right? So that's what my Sundays look like.
And so how does that prepare you for then Monday morning to just be like,
I'm
pick
pumped.
it back up?
I'm pumped. If you rest and you can sleep and then you wake up on Monday, you are pumped up for the day, because I'm such a goal-driven person. And so if I'm not accomplishing like a goal, then I'm like, okay, so this is rest time for me. My body, my mind says rest. And then the next day, it's go time, and I'm ready to take on the day.
Yeah. So that reminds me of the power of the pause. When you pause, then it gives you a moment to reflect, to rest, and to re-engage that following day. And so that's what it sounds like that Jay does on a Sunday evening.
like
She
that.
takes a pause, and it's a moment to rest, reflect, and then to re-engage on that Monday morning. Listen, success is defined by how you define it. Tell us how you define success. Leave a comment for us. Let us know what that looks
us
like
learn
for you.
something.
Yeah, we want to learn from you as you're gleaning from this. We are so pumped up to be with you during our Monday huddles. Click, share, comment, tell someone about the Monday huddle so that it could be of benefit to them. We appreciate you being our audience, and we're excited to do life with you. Until next time, any closing remark?
Thanks for having me. This was really good. I love the fact that not many people talk about Mondays, and not many people talk about just the mental side of it, the heart health of it. Where are you? And the success of it. Like, who thinks about Mondays being a successful day? So thank you. Derek, thanks for letting me sit in your seat.
All right, listen, make sure that you go and beat Monday.